If you've got yourself a posy motorbike and you want to improve things on it, ordinarily most people would buy bits that just make it look better or possibly make it go a little bit quicker. But that's not the only important thing you need to spend your money on. Of course, if it goes quicker, you need to stop it as well. And brakes are often ignored. Well, don't ignore them anymore. Consider the various options. First of all, cheapest and easiest thing to do is when you do go into your motorcycle shop and ask them for some new brake pads, don't necessarily buy the cheapest. Because for £3 or £4 more than the cheap standard pads, you can buy something like these, double the H as they're called, which are performance pads, and they help your braking that little bit easier. Then you can advance that a little further by putting on some braided hoses, which cost various amounts of money depending on how much pose you want, of course, but like £20 puts one line on and it just increases depending on how many lines, what colour you want, so on and so forth. So it's not an awful lot of money to help your brake performance. But if you want big pose and you want to really make better braking system on your bike, then you've got to change the discs. Now your disc will wear out perhaps after several thousand miles, and to buy an original disc you can actually spend as much money and get a performance disc. So let's give you some options. At the top there we've got an EBC ProLite disc, and they've been designed for regular road use at the same sort of money as it would cost you for replacement, but they've got a bit of colour about them and they look good. They also do one that's specific for race use or possibly track use. So if you do some track days, you can buy those. Cost you a little bit more, £20–30 more, but they are designed to accept the heat that you give it when you do several laps around the course and obviously hard braking. They're purposely designed for that, and they wear well, of course, as well. Then, if you want to go big pose and spend some money, look at that. You've got a disc with all sorts of waves on it, and these are produced by a company called Braking from Italy. And you can add a nice caliper to go with it at a couple of £100 as well. And you might think, a few £100 for a caliper, wow. But it might cost you £50–60 for a brake seal kit. They cost a lot of money, brake seal kits. Add that with the labour intense of repairing a seal kit on your calipers. You could have bought a caliper that has got some pose with it as well. Further down on this bundle here on the wall is some very impressive stuff. You've got very advanced brakes here by PFM. You've even got a disc and a caliper matched. This costs you around £1,000. That is proper pose. And further down here, these are AP racing caliper and discs. And a collection like this on something like an R1 will cost you £1,200. But they look the part when fitted, as you can see on this R1 that we put some on earlier. But if you want total pose, this is what you need. I'm going to put these down and I'm going to show you this. Now, if you want to impress your mates when you pull up at the biker meet or at the bike club on your fancy sports machine, whatever, an R1, 5-blade, whatever, this is what you need. You get a wheel and you get this, a disc that fits to the rim. One either side. It is huge. It is awesome. You may have indeed seen these fitted to something like a Buell. Corking stuff. Obviously you need a caliper, which I've got down here, and that goes on your fork leg and fastens then obviously onto the disc. It's beautiful, it's sexy, and I just wonder whether they do one for my Gilera Runner 125. You never know, do you? I'll go and inquire. Will cost you around £1,400, mind.